Hello and welcome to all our viewers in Nigeria and around the world to Midday News on Global TV. We're live in the nation's capital, Abuja. I am Jumai Manson. Now the news in full. President Bola Tinubu has approved the establishment of the National Health Fellows Program, with young Nigerians fellows to be engaged in all the 774 local government areas across the country. The president also announced the construction of 8,800 new primary health care centers across all local government areas in the country. Presidential spokesman Ajiru Ngelale in a statement says the move was part of the determination of President Tinubu to comprehensively upgrade existing primary health care centers and construct over 8,800 new primary health care centers across all local government areas in the country for accessible and qualitative health care delivery, with the provision of new social accountability mechanisms. According to the president, the well-trained fellows will serve as fiduciary agents to monitor and track primary healthcare center development and performance, which is to be judiciously measured against all financial inflows to the centers nationwide. The federal government has declared Thursday, April 11, 2024 as additional public holiday to commemorate the Eid-el-Fitr. This was made known in a statement signed by the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Interior, Aishetu Indayako, shared on the ministry's Health X handle. Saudi Arabia on Monday said the crescent of Shawwal has not been sighted, indicating that the fasting will continue on Tuesday. It also added that the Eid-el-Fitr would hold on Wednesday, April 10th, to mark the beginning of the new Islamic month. The federal government had earlier Sunday declared Tuesday and Wednesday, April 9th and 10th, 2024 as public holidays to mark the Eid-el-Fitr celebration. The minority leader of the House of Representatives, drawn from all opposition parties, have disowned 60 lawmakers who called for the resignation of the People Democratic Party acting national chairman Umar Damagum for all alleged anti-party activities. Recall that the 60 parliamentarians under the auspices of coalition of opposition lawmakers in Abuja threatened to quit the PDP if Damagum does not leave office to pave the way for the appointment of a new acting chairman from the North Central. The zone of the suspended national chairman of the party, Senator Iyorocha Ayu, reacting via a statement issued and co-signed by the minority leader and leader of the caucus, Kingsley Chinda, deputy minority leader, Ali Madaki, minority whip, Ali Isan, deputy minority whip, George Uzodinubu. The lawmakers described the Ganda Ugo Chinyere-led coalition as a body unknown to the parliament. Hours after Shaibu's impeachment, the Edo State Governor Godwin Obaseki announced 30-year-old Marvelous Omobayo as the new deputy governor. Omobayo was sworn in on Monday at the Festival Hall, Government House, Benin City, at the State Chief Judge Justice Daniel Oguboa. Speaking at the swearing-in ceremony, Obaseki said the choice of the new deputy governor would provide the needed impetus to rally around all interests and persuasions within the state. The Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority, NCAA, has unveiled a new dress code for all the consumer protection officers working at the nation's airport. A statement by Michael Achumugu, NCCA's Director of Public Affairs and Consumer Protection, said the move is aimed at improving service delivery and enhancing their visibility in events of complaints. Achumugu stated that the authority gives consumer complaints a pride of place, and as such, the flying public will be adequately sensitized on their rights and responsibilities before, during, and after a flight. He noted that based on the new energy at the authority, the Consumer Protection Department no longer sleeps on consumer complaints, as all genuine cases are treated with dispatch, while urging consumers to remain civil, follow the right channel to lodge their complaints, and they will be sorted out in good time. The Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, appointed a Nigerian British citizen, Pelumi Nubi, who embarked on a road trip from London to Lagos as Lagos Tourism Ambassador. Sanwo-Olu also presented a house and branded a Labrade vehicle with customized number plate NUBI Niger to 28-year-old adventurer. Nubi arrived in Lagos on Sunday to a rousing welcome after traveling on the road for over 2 months. While hosting Nubi at the State House Marina alongside her parents, Professor Timothy Olubukola, CEO Chairman, Nigerian Diaspora Commission, Honorable Abike Dabri Erewa, and Vice Chancellor of the University of Lagos, Professor Folashade Ogunshola, among others. Sanwo-Olu described Pelumi's adventure as inspirational. Pelumi Nubi, in her response, appreciated Governor Sanwo-Olu and the state government for making her Lagos tourism ambassador and giving her a car and a house. Former House of Defense and presidential candidate of the New Nigerian People Party, NNPP, in the 2023 presidential election, Senator Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso says Nigeria has all the required manpower and resources to end the current insecurity in the country. Speaking in Abuja during the mini national convention of the NNPP, Senator Kwankwaso said that if well-equipped, the nation's military can nip in the bud the present security challenges confronting the country. Kwankwaso noted that against the backdrop of happenings in the country, there are strong indications that the country is in serious need of change in the style of leadership, as both the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and the All Progressive Congress, APC, have both failed the nation. Ex-militant leader and mayor of Uroboland, Esanekbe, Israel, has commended the Delta State Governor, Sheriff Obarewuro, for his support for the investigative panel of inquiry into the mayhem that claimed the lives of 17 military personnel in Okoma, Ugele South local government area over the interests of the state. The former agitator expressed satisfaction shown in the matter thus far by the governor, by calling on the military authority to ensure that being the chief executive officer of the state, Governor Obarewuro must be carried along every inch of the way into the cruelty that occurred. You're watching Midday News coming to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. We're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us on all social media platforms using at Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. When Midday News returns, World Bank states that Africa economy to grow at 3.4% in 2024. This and other more stories coming right after this break. Do stay with us. You're welcome back, and if you're just tuning in, this is Global Television bringing you live broadcasts of Midday News. Thank you for staying with us. Over now to our foreign desk, oil prices increased during early Asian trading as optimism faded regarding the potential for ceasefire negotiations between Israel and Hamas to alleviate tension in the Middle East. Brent crude futures climbed by 40% to reach $90.78 per barrel, while U.S. West Texas immediate WTI crude oil rose by 35% to $86.78. The conclusion of the recent series of ceasefire discussions between Israel and Hamas in Cairo halted a multi-session rally. This resulted in Brent experiencing its first decline in the 5 seasons and WTI in its first in 7 as the possibility of geopolitical risks subsiding emerged. Baghdad is repairing a pipeline that could allow it to send 350,000 barrels per day BT to Turkey by the end of the month. An Iraqi deputy oil minister said a step likely to rail oil foreign companies and Kurdistan Regional Government KRG. The opening of Kirkuk-Seren pipeline which has been shut for a decade, will provide a rival route to pipeline from the Kurdistan region that has been shut for a year as talks between Baghdad and the KRG on resuming exports have stalled. Baghdad deems production sharing agreements between the Kurds and foreign companies using the KRG's pipeline illegal. Nicaragua has asked the UN's highest court to halt Germany's weapon sales to Israel as the start of a landmark case. Germany is accused of breaching the UN Genocide Convention by sending military hardware to Israel and seizing funding of the UN's aid agency. Berlin rejects the claims and will present a defense in the International Court of Justice, ICJ. Israel rejects accusation that it is engaging in genocidal acts in its campaign in Gaza, while has insisted it has the right to defend itself. Russian President Vladimir Putin will travel to China in May for talks with Chinese President Xi Jinping, in which would be the Kremlin chief's first overseas trip of his new presidential term. Moscow and Beijing declared a no-limit partnership in February 2022 when Putin visited Beijing just days before Russia launched its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, targeting the deadliest war in Europe since World War II. The Russian foreign minister will talk with his Chinese counterpart, Wang Yi, on a series of hot topics that will also include joint cooperation in international organizations such as United Nations and the Group of 20, G20. On our business news, the Minister of Solid Minerals Development, Dele Alake, has expressed the commitment of the federal government to support mining companies that place premium on local content in their operations. Speaking during a site tour of the Singalola Resources Operating Limited indigenous gold mining company located within Imogbara, Ikbenudi, Odo Ijesha, Ogun State, the minister lauded the extensive work that has gone into feasibility, expressing delight that over 95% of his staff are Nigerians, urging other operators to take a cue from them. Samuel Odi has the details.
The Minister of Solid Mineral Development urged the mining companies to emulate the international best practice of the Segilola Gold Project to develop the sector. Commending high Nigerian component of the project, Alake remarked that the firm has applied local content in its procurement and employment policies. The minister praised the company's tenacity of purpose and efficient method deployed to push through with its vision despite daunting challenges at inception.
Harmonious relationships bring fertile and robust engagements, which lead to safer, saner, peaceful, free and unfettered operating environment, which will lead to your maximizing your output, your production, and invariably your profit. And it's a symbiotic relationship because the host communities will also stand to gain. And the gains, the samples of these gains I have seen myself here today, and it's very, very commendable. There are so many mining companies who also sign community development agreements, but fall short in delivery. You have, in fact, overshot the bounds of delivery.
Alake stressed that the focus has been to redirect local and international attention to the mining sector. He revealed that the implementation of the 7-point agenda is to reposition the mining sector, emphasizing the imperative of humorous relationship with the host communities. Alake lauded SROL for overshooting its community development target, urging mining companies across the country to follow suit to ensure safer, unfiltered operating environment which will accumulate in maximum benefactors for both operators and the host community and government.
With the focus of your vision as a company, with the exemplary knowledge that you have displayed in putting in place this very laudable project here, and with the tenacity of your courage in surmounting institutional, corporate, individual, communal obstacles and challenges along your way.
In his remark, the Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of Segilola Resource, Segun Lawson, stated that the company is a world-class project powered by Nigerians, appealing for support from the federal government to enable its scale-up and contribute better to the economy of the country.
First stage was proving it up, the gold resource. Then after proving it, we were taking it to a preliminary feasibility study. That was in October 2017. After the preliminary feasibility study, we took it to a bankable feasibility study. That was in February 2019. And then from that point forward, it was about seeing if we could get the project funded. In order to build this project, we needed to raise about $120 million. That took about 1 year to put together. From the end of our feasibility study, February 2019, to when we broke ground was March 2020, so just over 1 year. Needless to say, we had the COVID pandemic, where Nigerian airspace was closed at the end of March 2020, but we persevered through that, and we managed to build the mine. It took 15 months to build, and we poured our first bar of gold in July 2021. And our new focus now is trying to extend the mine life to have a longer term production.
The minister, in his response, pledged the support of the federal government for SROL, particularly because it promotes local content and positively impacts the host communities with developmental projects. I'm Samuel Odi, reporting for Global Television.
The World Bank has projected the growth will rebound in Africa economics by 2.6% in 2023 to 3.4% in 2024 and 3.8% in 2025. This is contained in a statement issued by the World Bank on its latest African Polls report. The report said increased private consumption and declining inflation were supporting economics rebound in sub-Saharan Africa. It, however, said the recovery remained fragile due to uncertain global economic conditions, growing debt service obligations, frequent national disaster, and escalating conflict and violence. The Association of Bureau de Change Operators of Nigeria has appealed to the Central Bank of Nigeria to adjust and lower its applicable exchange rate between 1,251 naira to $1. It pegged for its members. APCON National President Aminu Gwabade stated this in a letter to the CBN Director, Trade and Exchange Department. The appeal comes from the parity market rate of 1,235 naira to $1 is lower than the BDC's applicable buying exchange rate of 1,251 naira to $1. Polls a 1.5% margin set by the CBN in its latest tranche of interventions. Gwadabe lamented that the Naira's speedy recovery made CBN selling rate to BDCs very expensive and difficult to offload to retail and buyers who are going to the undocumented forex operators for cheaper rates. And that's it on Midday News, and it came to you live from Nigeria's capital, Abuja. Remember, we're on Star Times channel 276. Kindly follow us across all social media platforms using that Global TV NG and other handles now showing on your screen. I am Jumai Manson. Thank you for watching. See you again. Good afternoon.